back to Pouring Takes. I'm Charlie Van.
And I am Rayya. We are back at beautiful Over Under, but before we get into all of that, be sure to visit our website, pouringtakes.com. You'll get linked up to all of our socials, be able to listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. And, you know, we just took a week off. We needed a little break, spring break, if you will.
A little reset action.
But I'm happy to be back here with you at, like I said, we're back at Over Under.
Right here in the village, my home, literally my home, my backyard.
And of course, great hospitality, great service, great drink specials. I love coming here, and it's still decked out for St. Patrick's Day. I'm still decked out for St. Patrick's Day.
Which is why we're drinking green beer. Happy belated St. Patrick's Day. Our yeah, I think St. Patrick's Day carries all the way to the whole week because of March Madness.
Right. Yeah, you know, that's how you know it's going down. You finish the conference tournaments, March Madness hits, St. Patrick's Day. It's one of the best times of the year.
You're still wearing green.
I can't stop, won't stop. And I have my green bracelets too, my stars bracelets. I got another one. This one says Ottinger Saves from my bestie Joelle. Joelle likes to make me bracelets.
Ottinger Saves, Wedgwood Saves. We have double there in that.
Yeah. Well, I actually bought my own bracelet making kit, so maybe I'll make you a bracelet.
Oh. Give me, take a hint at it.
Maybe. All right. Well, let's start with this. Now that we're, like I said, we're completely out of football season, going into March Madness, playoffs are on the horizon for our Mavs and Stars. Let's have a little bit of a therapy session, because there's a lot of things going on in the Dallas state of sports, if you will.
Yes.
So tell me what's on your mind, and how can I help you process things?
Let me take a sip. This won't be a rant. I mean, I will say positive first. I'll go with positive first. Positive, obviously, and we'll get into the Mavs and Stars, but this past weekend was awesome. You know, much needed, and we'll break down those games here in a second. But as far as our Dallas Cowboys go, because it was, you know, free agency week. Now, of course, a lot of. How do you feel about the whole tampering kind of thing?
The tampering window?
Yeah. The tampering on Monday, Tuesday.
Well, I think that's so that someone doesn't lock themselves up in a house with all their friends to not sign a deal. This gives you time to think through and process before you actually sign on the dotted line, and gives more space to negotiate, so that when that window hits, it's done. No drama, DeAndre Jordan.
Yes. Well, I mean, our Cowboys didn't even try to tamper. They didn't really try to do as much, because what has been known is their very little cap space. And especially with, you just lost Tony Pollard going to the Titans. I'm not too surprised by that as far as losing. We kind of expected that.
Yeah, we both did.
But, okay, what now? Now you have a lot of other options. Saquon, I mean, Josh Jacobs, all these big names that could come here day one and be that number one. Even if you still are going to, draft at running back, you need that veteran. What do? We just watch them fly off the board, just left and right.
I think the thing that bothers us the most is going into the offseason, given the way the season ended, for Jerry and Stephen Jones to come out and say, we're going to go all in next year.
We're going all in. Well, last year, though, was Carpe Diem, seize the moment, which that did not happen.
Yeah, and, we should have known better. All in meant all in on the yacht somewhere the heck else.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like every year with the Cowboys, it's a political campaign slogan that has never, lived up to. And when you say all in, we think, oh, what the Rams did, we're going to have to spin. But that's fine. We're fine with that. They did not want to even sign Zach Moss, who was at around $4 million. They weren't, or in the sense of they're not looking at $4 million. You're looking at around $2 million or the league minimum. You're not going to get anybody at that.
Yeah, it's really disappointing, especially when you look at the rest of the division and saw everybody else get better.
Yeah.
The Giants lost Saquon to Philly and still managed to get better in this offseason. That's just wild to me.
Yeah, and it's just okay, you're making these little cap moves before then. You moved on from Tyron, who, best luck to him. And obviously, I'm just going to say this real quick. Shout out to Leighton Vander Esch. Unfortunately, does have to retire. Not a surprise, but, what a study was, unfortunately, injury. Also, Michael Gallup, never the same after that injury. There goes your 2018 draft class.
Yeah, literally.
So, but best of luck to both of the guys and Tyron Smith.
Appreciate everything they've done.
Exactly. But you free up some holes. Okay, so what are you doing a little bit with
Still
that
not
money?
enough. It's still not enough.
Yeah, we did get Eric Hendricks. But yeah, it feels like we're dice rolling for the draft all in, and that's just, I don't think, the best way to look at it.
Yeah, especially with the new coaching staff on defense, offensive line completely torn apart. It's going to be challenging for them to build this roster.
Well, and
Are they banking on undrafted free agents? Are they banking on pulling guys literally off the street and putting them on the 53? Because I don't even think this team could make 90 right now.
well, here's the thing too, is if you're banking on the draft, you have a defensive coordinator who's only to a 1-year deal, so he can't mold these guys. And you have a head coach on a must-proven, so most likely, unless something magical, is going to be gone.
Okay,
so
are we team tank then? Because stars align for a tank season.
I mean,
you look at the Dak contract situation. You just said it with Mike McCarthy and Mike Zimmer
Yeah.
literally being 1-year rentals at this point.
Yeah.
If everything goes as bad as you and I are thinking it's going to go,
And you just
Why
promoted
not?
Al Harris to
assistant coach. But given knowing all that, what's the point?
Yeah, I mean,
Just take the tank, draft in the top 3 next year, try
but
again later.
I think the only way I feel like that it's fully tank is if you're just okay, Dak's gone completely, which that's not going to happen. I mean, he may be in a privy year, but that with Dak at the helm right there, I don't see them tanking, but I definitely am more concerned of what the future, because 2025, whether you keep Dak or not, is a huge cap hit.
Yeah.
So you needed to load up right now. This is the time to do the all-in, and apparently the cap space is so limited, and they're at lower half. It's just, it's mismanagement, and it's frustrating.
Very frustrating. But in the good news,
Yeah.
let's talk about the Mavericks real quick.
There we go.
Looking at your shirt for Inspo.
Yes.
Really big game against Denver, huh?
Holy guacamole. I was sitting, St. Patrick's Day watching, and this was very back and forth. I mean,
Very close game.
very close, but heck, great effort, by the Mavs. I mean, there was a moment where they had a little significant lead. Fortunately, let Nuggets back in, which
They are the champs.
they are the champs. That Luka 3 to tie it, my heart just went. But then I'm like, we're going to overtime. And then Kyrie Irving, that left
Kyrie
hand
and
floater.
Kyrie things.
Holy moly.
During the month of Ramadan, where he is fasting.
Yeah. That's
Holy
crazy.
crap! I can barely get through my day without breakfast. Mad props to him.
What a shot. That's got to be one of the shots, if not the shots of the year, unless we see something in the postseason.
There was an interesting stat. So that play was facilitated by Maxi Kleba.
Yeah.
Right? Apparently, a year ago to the day, there was a buzzer beater where Kyrie facilitated a play to Maxi Kleba to win the game. Do you remember that?
A year ago?
A year ago to
It
the
might
day.
have been, yeah, right. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Because, that was his second, third week he was here.
Something
I
like
think.
that.
Yeah.
We had just trained for him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I mean, that's crazy.
That's so wild. Basketball gods out here writing scripts.
Well, we're always saying Luka Magic, which is true, but Kyrie's been the Magic Man for so long and what he can do. And the fact that when they can both share the court together, and then we've been saying the draft's still 2023, Derek Lively. I mean, he needed to step up, and he did just that.
And not just him. You look at Daniel Gafford.
Yes,
He's been having a great stretch. 33 made field goals in a
Holy.
row. PJ Washington finding his stride. So this past week, do you feel like it's kind of like a turning point? Do you think we are going to get out of that play-in range and into the playoffs, if you will?
It feels like it. I sure hope so, because all eyes and pressure is on Jason Kidd. Make these lineups smart, and all the supporting cast really step up.
Manage Luka.
Yes.
Whether Luka actually had a hamstring injury or not, I'm really glad that they rested him that day. And they need to. They need to conserve as much energy. Luka does not need to be scoring 40, 50 points down the stretch here. Make it a team effort. Spread the ball around. Oh, you know what happened to me the other day? I was walking Romo, my dog, and I walked by the coffee shop. Who did I see? Who did I see pulling up? Tim Hardaway Jr. goes to the coffee shop in my apartment complex.
Now, where does he live?
I don't know where he lives.
That's such a random spot.
Well, I mean, I live so close to the practice facility, so it kind of makes sense.
I mean, yeah, that's just such a random like coffee. But hey,
And that's not even like the normal time I'd walk Romo anyway. That was later in the morning. Usually I walk Romo between like 7 and 7:30.
I wonder what he drinks. Like, what is he, a latte guy? Is he just like fresh brew?
Maybe he drinks like black coffee.
That's how you drink it. It's good. I like it. When you have a good roast.
Well, I will tell you, the coffee shop at my place is overpriced, so it has to be
All right.
a good roast.
She's not let back in her apartment. We won't say the name, so she's good. She's good. Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, rest in Luka, I think especially he wasn't part of that Thunder game, made up for this Denver game because these are the top two teams. And I'm so intrigued now because I do feel like things are clicking, but let's see how they go into coming in.
Well, we're breathing on the playoffs. It's almost April. We're halfway through March, you know, like all those things. On the other side of the American Airlines Center, I went to the Stars game finally.
Yeah.
I got to go to the Stars and Panthers game last Tuesday. Stars were up 3-0 and lost 4-3.
Yeah.
And then they played the Devils. Lost to the Devils
shaky.
5-2.
Yeah. Little rough patch.
But then won on Saturday.
Which
on
they
Mike
had
Madonna
to.
Day. You had
to.
Against
you can't
LA
lose
Kings.
on the statue reveal day, which I saw them at the St. Patrick's Day parade, which was cool.
Okay, have you checked out the statue yet?
I have.
It's beautiful.
It is.
I love that they made it that green, that old school Stars green, not like the Victor green. It's like this green.
Are you kind of surprised though it took this long for him to get a statue? I mean, if you were a kid of the 90s and hockey here and that 99 team, I mean, he was something. I mean, he was one of the best players.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
in sports,
but
Dallas
you
sports.
know that. I know that. Tanner clearly knows that. But Texas didn't really become a hockey state until like the last 3 to 4 years.
Which is crazy because I was very worried when that 08 lockout that it was going to really, and it did hurt a little bit of hockey, but especially here. But
no, I think the NHL is going through a beautiful renaissance.
Oh no, for sure now.
Now, and you're seeing it in Dallas, especially those games. I still think going to Stars games are hands down the best Dallas pro sports experience.
The electricity in there, and you don't really have to be a true fan of the sport to enjoy.
You don't need
time.
to know what icing is to enjoy hockey.
You don't. You know, you're going to get some fights. And, I mean, it's so quick, too.
Yes, so
half the time, I don't even know who scored until
Yeah, you have to watch the replay to figure out what happened. And also, my favorite thing about watching hockey live is watching the refs. The way they jump over the puck and, chase players down. I'm like, how do you guys do this?
And it's not like with football or even basketball, every second you feel like there's a foul, there's a penalty. It keeps...
Because there's not technically an out of bounds unless someone, literally shoots the puck out of the arena.
And they're pretty fair refs, I feel for the most part.
Yeah, I don't feel like there's a lot of controversy when it comes to the NFL. I mean, NHL. Whoa.
Oh, well,
hey.
that's we wish the other was true.
But yeah, you know, I'm hoping things get better for the Stars. You know, that first game that Kristen have played, he did score a goal after scoring maybe 1 or 2 goals for the entire season, something like that. I'm hoping the defense can pick it up, but it looks a little crazy. I mean, they did only hold the Kings to 1 goal, but what made me nervous is when I watched the Panthers game was to watch the wall of Ottinger absolutely fall apart.
And how much of that do you think is he's still not 100%, or how much do you think is just mental? And because
I think he's exhausted.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. He's playing a lot of games because Wedgwood's not having a great season as a number 2 goalie. So I think they're relying more on Ottinger now than they did around this time last year, because we saw a lot of Scott Wedgwood last year.
Yeah. Well,
so
I'm just looking forward to see what Ott can do in the postseason, where that experience now, that confidence, because he had a pretty decent showing last year, up until maybe that Western Conference final. So just, exhaustion, maybe, but maybe that light will burn, getting where it matters.
Well,
we need it.
We'll see. We'll check back in next week.
Yes.
And see if, the Mavs can keep it going and the Stars can turn it around a little bit. I think the Stars have 15 more games to the playoffs. So we're down to the final stretch. This is crazy.
I know. I can't believe it's already here.
I'm ready for those playoff watch parties. They're so fun.
They are, both Stars and Mavs.
Yeah, we've had really great experiences with both teams. All right. One thing we gotta settle here is our Love is Blind predictions from 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So we came on the week that the Altar episodes dropped. And since then, we know who got married and who didn't. We also watched the reunion,
Yes.
which I'm kind of sad that we didn't have to do our episode because we could have made all the reunion predictions. This reunion was probably one of the best reality TV show reunions I've seen in a while.
You know who
Vanessa did not hold back.
So I watched the reunion late. I watched it last night. But you know who told me about it? My dad. My parents watched Love is Blind. He's like, it was uncomfortable. It was. I was like, all right, I gotta watch it. You know, ASAP.
Yeah, because I think Vanessa and Nick caught a lot of heat in previous seasons for not asking good questions.
Yeah.
And kind of letting cast members just get off with whatever. And there was so much controversy in this season. And Vanessa said, hold my beer, I got this.
We could do this.
She's my favorite. She was incredible.
Well, first let's go to like, we both said our shot take was a couple weeks ago that Jimmy and Chelsea would at least make
Made it to
the
the altar.
We
And
got that wrong. The episode kicked off with insane. We're done.
We were both like, oh
Oh,
man. Because I could have sworn they showed it in the trailer, but yeah, I guess I'm wrong. I guess, you know what I saw? Her trying on wedding dresses, not the actual ceremony.
You know, you got the rest right. You said that AD and Clay, they would not get married. They'd make it altar, and we knew Johnny and Amy. They're so cute together.
And they're still so cute. They keep posting photos and stuff on Instagram now that like it's all out there. They're so happy.
Because we got Jimmy and Chelsea, we are gonna have to do our shot. It's green tea though.
Green tea, keeping with our greens.
There we go. Oh well.
I do this every week.
But it's pouring.
Shut up.
Little spillage. Put their friends down, Jimmy and Chelsea.
Literally, I saw it on Instagram that they're like hanging out in Florida.
I actually saw something today. It's like she's gonna help it, like be part of that friends group that he's got two good female friends. And
Yikes.
And then we saw also on the reunion, which I love this couple. I said it didn't work out, but Kenneth. And they're gonna.
I love that they asked Kenneth about the phone.
I know, he's like, I know. Are you looking at was it dolphins? Yeah. I wouldn't have thought dolphins, but yeah, I mean, they're good friends now. Like a lot of people kind of become besties.
Okay, so what did you think about how it ended with Clay and AD? Because we knew that there were red flags everywhere, and I actually thought that Clay was gonna say yes and AD was gonna say no.
Yeah.
Because that's the girl power moment I was just craving outside of Laura absolutely obliterating Jeremy, not just at the lake, but on the reunion.
On Clay. At least he was honest with himself. I mean, it sucks that it had to happen at the altar, and I wonder how much that was pushed. I'm just saying,
Yeah, the producer, for sure. She came out, so she was on Nick Vile's podcast.
The Vile Files.
And they had talked, allegedly, they had talked about what they were going to do at the wedding, and she said, don't you embarrass me. If you don't want to get married, tell me now, and we'll both say no, and we can walk away and figure it out from there. But he told her, he was like, no, I'm going to say yes. I want to marry you. I want to build this life with you. And then he threw her that fucking curveball.
Yeah, and that's why I feel like, how is this put? You can't have just one couple left at the altar. Like, there's always got to be that aha, which sucks because that's so awkward, and I hate those.
I think what he said was really mature and really showed growth, and
in the reunion.
Yes, in the reunion, but also at the altar.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because I feel like, given his character and the way he was portrayed on the show, that could have gone super south.
Yeah.
But he was very well-spoken, but it was just not the right time.
No.
That was not the way to do it.
No.
Yeah. Go.
And honestly, I feel like, yes, for ratings or viewerships, it's intriguing, but I think it would have been better the way Jimmy and Chelsea, and you have one left standing, and that's fine. I mean,
I would have really liked to see AD on Perfect Match. I'm kind of sad that she's not on that cast because she would have been fun to have on that show.
Oh yeah, well, and I just going back to Clay in the reunion, I like that he has been working on himself. He's been seen like a therapist, he is, and you can tell he got teary-eyed, and he actually does care, he's realized I screwed up. I messed up.
I think that's got to be one of the hardest things that when you're a quote regular person that does this reality TV thing experiment, watching yourself back. Even when we watch back our own recordings, right? We're like, oh my God, I can't believe I said that. Oh my God, I can't believe I did that. I can't believe I yelled at you, Charlie. All these things. But like in reality TV, that's their lives. Like that's gotta be so hard. There's certain pills that are just have to be so hard to swallow, unless you're a psychopath like Jeremy.
Well, also though, everything's happened so fast. This dynamic is a lot faster than The Bachelor, Bachelorette, you know, because there's one person, there's a build-up, and not
Also,
that that's easy.
The lag time.
Yeah, the lag time. And
Like they have a full year to process it before it even airs.
could you imagine? Season 1 was filmed in 2018 and it didn't come out to 2020.
Which is so ironic given what happened in 2020.
So it came out right before COVID. Like
that's right, I remember.
But it's just like how fast you have to be. Like like it's a lot of emotion, a lot is happening. But I do like when somebody's like, I messed up, but I've had time to reflect, and you know, like I hope to see. Now she did say she went out with Matt a couple times. Obviously, did not work out. Which Matt we didn't get a whole lot of as much. Now
He's
we're
supposed to
seeing
do
more.
some sort of tell-all special
Is he?
somewhere.
But-
Did we get him? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Matt, you want to come down?
You can have a drink with us.
You'll be on Spirit Airline if we get you down here. We're gonna fly.
I can drive to North Carolina.
Yeah. Hey, Charlotte, we'll go hang out with Abby.
Abby doesn't live there anymore.
Damn it. I'm left out of everything. Where does she live? Where
New
does she?
York.
Oh, man.
I'm sending her this clip.
Okay, but Abby's not like big on social media though, and like she doesn't always share.
Yeah.
All right, sorry, Abby. Tell us where I'm at.
Okay, so Clay, mature. Guess who wasn't mature? Trevor.
Poor Trevor. Oh my, not poor Trevor, but still.
Trevor
This guy's got a mullet, by the way.
had lots of explaining to do. Thank you to Trevor's ex-girlfriend for absolutely airing out his BS on all forms of social media throughout the season. So by the time they filmed the reunion, everything was out there. And for those of you who don't know, he was dating this girl, and he said, hey, baby, I've gotten this opportunity to go on Love is Blind. I'm going to take it. And she said, that's cool. Go be famous. I support you. And then it all came crashing down.
Yeah, you know, when texts are out there, they're gonna find them.
She's posting screenshots. She even posted pictures of Trevor after he filmed Perfect Match. So now there are rumors going around that they're gonna edit him out of Perfect Match because of how badly this blew up. But that's on Netflix. That's on Netflix.
Yeah, but man, did Nick and Vanessa went after that. That was...
I can't believe they allowed
crazy.
him to leave. Like, I guess they can't hold him against his will. But the fact that he was just like, I said what I need to say. Can I leave now? Like, I think that was really hard for him too. Like I said, when you see it like play out the way it does.
And you have a whole theater, like audience, and past Love is Blind contestants. All eyes, man. Actually, Jeremy's probably sitting there. Oh, thank God.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Because I mean, like, I'm good to go regardless. You know, we all like.
Jeremy was like, I own my truth. I'm with Sarah, and
I don't
it is
care.
what it is. Trevor seems to be like, not necessarily in denial, but like, yes, he's remorseful, but I don't think he has regrets.
No,
if that makes sense. Like, I just, like, he doesn't want to own what he did, but he's not mad about what he did either.
But I think where he feels the most awkward, I'm saying, is he didn't end up with anybody. So now you're just bringing.
But the plan wasn't to be with anybody. The plan was to get followers and clout and all of this. So now he's always going to be known as the guy who fooled everybody on Love is Blind. Because remember, that first episode, the first round of episodes, what did I say? Oh my God, this Trevor guy, I just love him.
She was a fan.
He's so nice, so down to earth, and the way Chelsea broke up with him just hurt my feelings, blah, blah, blah. Coming to find out, he played all of us.
The mullet.
We'll see him on the trainer.
Yeah, the mullet.
That's not a bad idea. Or the mole. The mole is a good show for him, too.
No, but when he grew out the mullet, that's when you should have known.
But you know what? At the end of the day, he does get what he wants. That's why I'm saying he's not remorseful. Because guess what? He's still going to get a girl eventually.
Yeah.
But now he's going to be known as a reality TV villain with multiple opportunities to continue to be said reality villain, TV villain. So
he won.
It is what it is.
I mean, because it's not the first time that's like happened. If you've been in the world of the reality dating, but it does suck. And they did call it out, Nick and Vanessa. Like, of how like we're not looking for people who just want to be famous. Like we're looking for like what we just saw with Johnny and Amy.
Authentic people.
Or, I mean, at the end of the day, if friendships come out of it too, like either way, I mean, that's not the main goal,
Well,
but
when they
that's
threw
better
that
than
stat
nothing.
out there, they said 11 couples
Yeah.
have gone to the altar
Yeah.
and 9 are still married.
Which is good. I mean,
Ain't
it's
mad at
better.
the odds.
It's, I'll be honest, it's better than Bachelor Bachelorette stats.
There
You know.
is a Instagram account you can follow if you are into metrics and numbers when it comes to reality TV dating. It's
Analytics
called
over here.
@BachelorData. She is really effing good at what she does. Her visuals are on point. I learned everything about Bachelor Universe as well as other reality TV shows just from her. And I mean, it's interesting to see which
Yeah.
of these reality TV shows work.
Well, I mean, that is a good point, and especially working currently now, because like that's kind of the complaint sometimes with Bachelor Bachelorette. You don't see it last. There are some that have, but there's a lot.
Oh,
that
this is
don't.
a whole nother episode.
I know.
We can debate strategies of reality dating
There's
TV
numbers to everything.
forever.
Sports stats, dating stats.
Hey, I'm a numbers girl. It's
yeah,
what I do.
She is.
But, you know, so we talked about AD and Clay, we talked about Trevor, we talked about Johnny, Amy, Kenneth and Brittany, and Jimmy and Chelsea. The last couple we have to touch on real quick, Jeremy and Sarah Ann. Sarah Ann, 0 regrets. I did what I did. Take it or leave it. I kind of appreciate that from her.
Yeah.
Because I think she truly went after something she loved and cared about. And she said, you know what? Everyone's going to hate me. Everyone's going to see me as a villain. But fuck it, I'm happy.
Yeah, I mean, she obviously should have been the pick, right?
Yeah, from the jump, she should have been the pick.
Yeah, and I think she's like, what do I got to lose? I mean, I don't feel like she was, from my take, she was ever like super close with any of these other girls. So she's going after her own. That's what it's about. If this was The Bachelorette or The Bachelor,
no,
this is what you do.
If she was on The Bachelor, she would have been like one of the like favorite characters.
You got to go
honestly.
for you. I mean, now I will say, man, Laura's not afraid to throw off punches.
Oh, no,
do not
I loved
make her
it.
mad.
I loved it.
And I love her passion too. She's right too.
Yeah.
Like there's no, like I feel like between her and Sarah, there's no like super on. I mean, Jeremy's the one who
messed up.
Who messed up.
But like you said, Jeremy's the one who messed up. I don't think you can blame Sarah Ann for anything.
Yeah.
Sarah Ann saw an opportunity, was thrown a
Yeah.
bone. What are you gonna do? If someone throws a medium rare filet mignon at me,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go get it.
I'm interested to see what that post reunion. about.
You're just gonna let that hang?
You want me to pun it? Okay, it wasn't a mistake. That's what he was looking for. I know, I'm the pun guy. I miss green beer, everybody.
That green tea shot hit. Once again, we are at the Village
Maybe that Rumpelman shot I took
at
before.
Over Under. Drinks are very strong here.
It's been a long weekend, Rayya. I've had 3 St. Patrick's Day, 2 and 1. Yes, okay. Anyways, yes, a filet mignon or a, what is a ribeye? Maybe more of a ribeye. Filet mignon is a little more juicier.
Filet
What's that
mignon is
juicy?
like top tier steak.
Man, it's so
That
small though, man.
But that's all you need. It's small.
T-bone steak.
Honey, it is small but thick.
It does have some thickness to it. It does have some thickness.
Steaks.com.
Yes. We're gonna stake it out.
No,
We're gonna have
my
a
God.
steak out.
We should have
That's
a steak
what we should. We'll do red wine.
and more steak, because that's my specialty as a chef.
Sometimes
is steak.
we bet on what's at stake.
There we go. Drink.
There we go. There we go. All right. This part has been a mistake. No, I'm joking.
Okay, keep drinking.
Anyways, no mistake for Sarah Ann, as we said.
No, Sarah Ann did the right thing. Laura said her piece and destroyed everybody, and I loved it.
She went off on like a freestyle. Like she was like, I'm afraid to make her mad. Like
I want to be more like her.
Me too.
I'm way too nice.
Do you think she'll be on Perfect? Is she on Perfect Match?
No, it was just, what's her name? Fuck, it was,
What does she do for a living? I forgot what.
I don't know, but she was in Barcelona for work.
I know. That's awesome.
I want that job.
Me too.
But it was
I'll send you
Jessica.
my LinkedIn resume.
It was Jessica. Who came in from the previous seasons?
Man, you're way more in the perfect match. We are really good at this
I
reality
chose
TV.
3 women, okay? That's all I got.
That's all we need.
Let's rock and roll.
All right.
Okay, so the main reason why we're here today is, like we said, March Madness is afoot. Games start literally tomorrow with the play-in rounds, with the official tournament kicking off Thursday and Friday for the women. And yeah, that's right. I said we are doing men's and women's because let's be
go.
real. Women's March Madness is probably more exciting than the men's right now.
Well, especially I feel too, I mean, well, with what transpired last year, which was awesome between Iowa and LSU. And I mean, and everybody's elevated so much, but all eyes, I think too, is going to be on Caitlin Young. Final year.
Caitlin Clark?
Did I say Caitlin?
What did you say?
Sorry. Caitlin Clark. I'm thinking MMA.
Respect my girl.
It's I don't know. I was thinking Caitlin Young. I'm sorry. Caitlin Clark. My bad. Caitlin Clark. Actually, what I want to ask you though, real quick about.
Yeah, ask me
Clark.
anything.
All right, let's talk about her history-making season.
Yep.
Final year. We know she's gonna, looking for the draft, WNBA, which can't wait to see that. But
Lining up those Wings tickets as we speak.
But how much of added to her legacy winning the national championship, like we saw with Joe Burrow in 2009?
Okay, so this is a really
2019.
interesting topic for me. So they were literally showing last year's final right when we got here. She made it to the final last year and lost to LSU, which was mind-blowing in itself. I don't think Caitlin Clark needs an NCAA championship to, quote, solidify her legacy.
Yeah.
She is the highest scoring collegiate player of all time, men or women.
Yeah.
So, as much as I would love to see her carry the trophy and do all the things, she doesn't need it. She's going to go #1 overall to the Indiana Fever, and she's going to have an illustrious WNBA career. She's going to play in the Olympics. She's going to do all of these other things. This NCAA tournament will contribute this much to her legacy of what this woman is going to do.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I agree right there. I mean, she's already cemented her legacy. It's just a nice little cherry on the top. Now,
I mean, but LeBron doesn't have an NCAA tournament win.
LeBron doesn't have a college appearance.
But what I'm saying is, it doesn't define you.
No, I don't. I mean, with what she's done so far, is incredible. It's amazing. But man, all eyes on that final again. If Iowa can get back there.
Yeah, and I'm really hoping for it. That the way that they structured these women's brackets, there's a lot of controversial, interesting matchups. So I'm really excited to see how everything pans out.
Yeah, I mean, that weekend of March Madness, that final weekend, that Final Four is going to be for both men's and women. High impact.
Okay, so do you want to start with the women since we
Yeah, let's kick with the women.
Let's kick it with the girls. So, for you guys at home, please play along with us. We have opened up brackets for both the men's and women's. They're going to be linked to our website, pouringtakes.com. It's through ESPN. Make your bracket, compete with us, see if you're better at this than us, because Tanner said he's going off all the vibes.
That's right, vibes.
All the he's vibing. He's always vibing.
I don't know anything about anything, just vibes.
And you know what? That's the beauty of March Madness is the combinations are infinite. The chance of you getting a perfect bracket are slim to none. It's just a bunch of fun.
It's so nice.
It is. It is such the biggest dice roll out of all sports, I feel, because something crazy happens all the time.
You have 68 teams.
Yeah, that's a lot.
There's no other sport you could do this in other than basketball.
So let's start with the women.
I'm opening up my bracket.
And so while you're opening that, because Ray and I like to do our shot takes, and I want to break this down because I don't want to confuse anybody. But if you are confused, you're confused. So how we're going to do this, I'm just saying. I mean, I was kind of trying to make sure when I say this, it's not confusing.
Good luck.
All right. Yes. So how it's going to work for our shot takes for March Madness, we're about to break down the women's tournament, but we're also going to, break down the men's. So we're going to pick first, second round a team that we think in the first or second round is going to win. It could be any team on both men's and women's side. We're also going to pick, it could be for either or, men or women, a possible upset.
Okay.
So how this will work is if you get one of your picks wrong, but you get the upset, that negates one of those shots. So you only have to take one shot.
Okay.
If you get everything right, and let's say I get one of those, you get to pick my shot if I get anything wrong.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Hello,
the upset
Oil Slick.
pick. The upset pick is what I call the rebound shot. It's the get out of jail free card.
The rebound shot.
Yeah.
Are we going to bring up this debate again about rebounds?
Yeah, no, that's another episode. But yes, if you get your upset, then it can take away a shot that you have to take.
Okay.
So you like that?
I like that.
All
Kirk
right.
Cousins, new Atlanta quarterback.
All right.
All right. Anyway.
Here we go.
Okay. So, with the women, there's something I wanted to point out. There is a region that is absolutely interesting to me, okay? And it's what is this? Region 2 is what it's called. This is where Iowa is the #1 seed.
Yeah.
In this division, or in this region, you also have LSU, UCLA,
Fire.
and Louisville.
Yeah.
And there's history between LSU and Louisville. Obviously, history between LSU and Iowa.
Yeah.
And UCLA is just having a great effing season.
Yeah.
This is like the group of death to me, if you want to like draw parallels with other sports. Like ideally you want, like I wish there was a world where you could have Iowa and LSU in the Final Four, but you can't.
No, you can't.
That's not going to happen. So yeah, I just wanted to call attention to that because that's just like a whole like storyline within the story.
Well, yeah, and I think those games right there. I mean, can you imagine that viewership right there, those intensity right there, that soon?
Yeah, so
is crazy.
If LSU beats Rice and Louisville beats MTSU, what's MTSU? Mountain. I forgot which one this is.
Middle Tennessee.
Middle Tennessee, that's the one. Yes.
Oh yeah, that's in Lisbonton, Tennessee.
So
Been right past there.
If they both advance, they play each other in the round of 32.
That's crazy.
And there was a player on the LSU team, Haley Van Lip. She transferred from Louisville, so she would be playing her former team in the round of 32. Isn't that wild?
That's crazy.
But that leads into my thing. I have MTSU upset in Louisville.
Oh, that's your upset take.
That is my upset take for the women.
Okay, go Middle Tennessee. Like I said, Lisbonton. It's a nice little area. That's where our Jason Witten, former Dallas Cowboy.
There's quite a few NFLers that came from MTSU. But for me, in terms of my quote-unquote lock, and I'm not going to be basic, I'm not going to choose one of the big teams. I'm going to say, oh, another thing you got to watch out for, the UConn women.
Oh, yeah.
Hold on. UConn women are a 3 seed in, I believe this is Region 3. They are injury plagued.
I was going to ask you that.
They only have 8 active players on their roster. They cannot add anymore, and they hopefully won't lose anymore. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays like in the long run. So I have them as a lock to advance out of the first round. But beyond that, I don't know. I'm a big fan of Paige Bueckers. Paige Bueckers is going to be a effing star. I mean, she already is.
Yeah.
But that's going to be really tough for Gina to navigate. I don't know. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, well, as far as my team in the first 2 rounds, I will be a little bit basic. I'm super excited for LSU, and I really do think that's the team right there in those first 2 rounds. I mean, obviously looking at Iowa, but my eyes on what can LSU kind of, because all eyes have been on Iowa, all eyes have been on South Carolina.
And LSU just took that loss to South Carolina, so they got some stuff to prove.
So, and that's the thing, the redemption, right? Because no one's looking as closely to them as they were last year as they are South Carolina and Iowa because of the story and Caitlin Clark. So, but I do expect LSU to be in there, up in the top. So,
what about an upset? You got an upset in mind?
Well, so I was thinking like you pick an upset in either one. So you can pick one upset.
I was prepared for all all
Do
of
you
them.
want to do upset? Do we want to do upset for both rounds?
I mean, it's equal
You could-
opportunity.
you could.
You got to treat the men and the women equal.
Oh no, yeah. Well, I'm just saying you just pick an upset when you pick
It is my month, Charlie.
All right, there you go.
There you
Let
go.
me-
There's the bracket. Don't you cheat.
I'm not going to agree with her.
But yeah,
You know what?
honestly, when I look at like the women's stuff, I know more about what's going on in the women's world than I do in the men's for the first time in I don't know how long. I think the way that last season ended propelled this season to be amazing for the women.
I'm going to go with Florida State.
Florida State over
Alabama. They're neck and neck.
Alabama. Oh, you went with an 8-9 matchup. Okay, basic.
Well, you know what? I mean, a lot of my upsets, even on the other side, are pretty close like that. It's still an upset.
Okay, fine.
There's some pretty close-neck teams, though, this year in both.
You know what's really funny is like, I may know more about what's going on in the women's bracket, but statistically, I can tell you everything about picking the men's bracket because it's just so top of mind.
Well, I think it gets, that light right now because everybody's been talking about, but equally the women's, like you said, is super exciting too. So it's going to be neck and neck.
Okay, so before we switch over to the dudes, real quick, I'm going to drop what my Final Four is for the women.
Okay.
Y'all don't copy me. I won't say who wins, but I will say who my Final Four is. I've got South Carolina, Stanford, Iowa, and USC.
Ooh.
USC's got Juju Watkins,
Yeah.
who's fucking outstanding.
Really good.
South Carolina has Dawn Staley as a head coach, and she's been undefeated for what
And
seems
that's
like
been-
forever.
I think everyone's early favorite too is South Carolina winning
Yeah.
all. So
Yeah, South Carolina has been kind of like heads and shoulders over everybody. And then the Stanford pick, Cameron Brink, is absolutely outstanding. So whatever happens, it's going to be fun, but that is my Final Four. I don't know what yours is.
well, I have Iowa. I do have Iowa, South Carolina. I think I had. I'm sorry, my bracket.
Did you break my... Yeah, swipe this way
Yeah.
to see the Elite Eight.
Sorry, we're trying to
No,
get this.
this way.
Okay, well, she's the technical logic person. So I do have Iowa. I actually have Iowa, South Carolina, and I believe too, I have the USC, and I had also.
The other number one is Texas.
I might have had Texas in it too. So.
So Texas is going to be good for a long
Sorry,
time.
my bracket wouldn't pull up, but let's just say I'm not going to go in the final, but.
So
It's gonna be
one
huge.
interesting note on Texas, Texas has a freshman who seemed to come out of thin air for them.
Yeah.
And has absolutely carried them through the Big 12, winning the conference championship and getting that fourth number one seed that no one was sure where it was going to go. So,
Yeah. Texas
be
on
kinda
both
cool.
sides of the ball. Man.
well, Texas got pretty far last year on the
Yeah.
men's side.
I mean, both are doing so super well. So we both will agree that we have Iowa and South Carolina.
And USC.
And USC. So, ooh, man. Could you
But
imagine,
hey, anything can happen.
could you imagine, though, in the end, Iowa, South Carolina, the rematch?
No,
for
that's not a rematch. The rematch would be Iowa LSU.
No. Just remember Iowa upset at South Carolina last year.
Oh, I forgot.
Rematch for all the marbles.
All
Remember
the
South
marbles.
Carolina was favored over Iowa last year, and Caitlin had, oh man, phenomenal game in that one.
All right, let's switch over to the dudes.
Let's go.
So, okay, you want me to pick upsets. So, I really love how everyone throws out these stats about the different matchups, like 5 and 12s, the 12 is more likely to upset, 4s and 13s, 13s are likely to upset, 6 and 11s, go with the 6s, especially if they played in beforehand. There's so many crazy rules, but there's some interesting matchups here. So when it was time to pick my round of upsets, there were a couple 11s I picked over 6s, and I'm trying to figure out which one I'm like most confident in. Actually, I'm gonna go with this one. I'm gonna go with the 5-12 matchup.
Okay.
I'm gonna take James Madison over Wisconsin.
Ooh, that'd be a good one.
Yeah, I feel like JMU always comes in with such heat, such fire. Nobody really pays attention to them during the regular season, and then they show up at the tournament and they just take over.
And what's your team you think in the first 2 rounds? For sure, it's gonna be there.
Who's going to advance after 2 rounds? That's a good question. I'm trying to pick one, just one.
I know it's hard. There's so much. There's a lot of teams a lot closer this season, this tournament.
It's really hard.
Very neck and neck. And when I was doing my bracket earlier, I was just like, ooh, it could be. It really could be either.
Oh, that's an upset pick, though. I should have said that was my main pick, but it's fine.
And it's okay. You could be basic if you want.
I don't want to be basic.
Yeah, but I think a lot of the men are basic.
The whole fun part about this is to think outside the box. Going chalk.
She does all the time.
Rarely goes the way you want it to go, right? I keep thinking upsets.
Well, half of them technically could be upsets. Like, there's so many good ones.
There are so many
They're
good
all,
ones.
like, so stacked.
This is tough. I'm going to roll with...
I know, it's so tough.
Enthralling television.
This is like picking at the fast food. You're like, maybe I want a number 1.
I'm going to take Baylor.
Baylor, all right.
I'm going to stay in Texas, and I think Baylor will get out of the first 2 rounds.
You know what? That back half of that season was pretty dang
They
good.
came on really strong, and they were right there for the Big 12 championship. So.
Oh, yeah. No, it's really good. Really good.
I'm sorry that took so long.
No.
Blame the green beer.
No. I mean, that first round is very, like, stacked.
Well, I picked a lot of 11s, and I picked a lot of 12s.
All right, my upset. Now, full disclaimer, I did pick Tech, but I think NC State will be the upset game. I think NC State.
Thank you for saying it, because I was thinking it.
Yeah, because they're so much fun. They're
they
very
just
durable.
won their conference.
And they are so aggressive. And they're
they
going to fight
beat
Tech.
Duke to win it.
Yes. So I think NC State is the upset game. That's going to happen. Like, I really do. Like, they're so much fun to watch.
Okay, what about your full send over here?
I'll be semi-basic but not fully basic because I think this team they are the wild card team, but I could easily see them by the second round going out because they probably will play San Diego State. I think Auburn.
Auburn. Ooh.
Auburn has a lot of fire coming in. Now, once again, I have them versus San Diego State in the second round, who San Diego State was the runner-up last year. 4 and 5, I mean, if they play each other, but Auburn's got a lot rolling. They're rolling, which it's been a while. It's been a while since we've seen this team in this mix at that high of a seed. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. But man, if Auburn and San Diego State, I love that matchup in the second round.
All right, you ready to hear my men's Final Four?
Yeah, let's rock.
All right, I got UConn, Baylor, Houston, and South Carolina.
Ooh.
Nice.
I think when you're at a school where your one team is just so elite, it's going to push the other teams to level up. And I think those men are going to be like, we love our girls. We got to match that energy. I could totally see them going through. And the number 1 seed in that region is Purdue, and I'm not confident with Purdue.
Yeah. I wish I could bring up my bracket, but I know off the top of my head. I have Houston. I have UConn coming back, and I have UNC.
North Carolina's the other number 1?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
They look way better. I mean, last year was an off year. They look back in the mix. And then I think I had to...
You're looking at the Midwest Division.
there was one
Purdue
more.
is number 1.
No.
Tennessee.
I think I had Tennessee in there.
Creighton.
No, I had...
Kansas.
No, I had Kansas.
I found it.
Because here's the thing. I always have Kansas. That's how I won a couple years ago.
Rock Chalk.
Well, those are, hey, look at UConn, Houston, Alabama are number 1, 2. It's the teams that have been there before that always get in that mix. You can't count those teams out.
You know what? Endless possibilities. It's going to be really interesting which one of us does better in this matchup.
Yes.
And like I said, join our game on ESPN. We'll have the links posted on pouringtakes.com. We'll post it on our socials as well. But yeah, compete with us, and maybe on the final we'll it's a Monday.
Yeah, it is a Monday.
Come and drink with us.
I love March Madness because it's just crazy. It's unpredictable.
It's the most fun, sporting event. you don't have to know anything going into it.
Oh, it's true.
You just go and enjoy it.
Oh, it's true.
Yes,
it
Tanner.
is true.
We know you don't watch sports.
Well, he's like, don't call. No, I mean, but it is so much fun, and it's just exciting to see. And sometimes there's a couple of Cinderella stories. I mean,
That's the best part.
I mean, last year was the most crazy. Who would have thought San Diego State versus UConn? Like everyone's all in like Houston, Alabama, UConn, and you had a team came out of nowhere.
Well, we're going to find out. Dallas is actually hosting Sweet 16 and Elite 8 games for the men at American
yeah.
Airlines Center. So, who knows? Who knows who we're going to get to see here?
Can't wait.
All right. Anything else you want to chat through before we sign off for the night?
I think that's it. I think we've covered it all. Just once again, be sure to check us out on YouTube, Spotify, also hit Apple Podcasts as well now.
And if you're looking for a place to watch all the March Madness games, feel free to come to Over Under. They'll be running drink specials
Heck yeah.
the entire tournament for both men's and women's. We'll be posting those specials on our socials as well.
Thank you guys so much. Till next time, thanks for watching.